What's up, everybody? It's your girl D here with 8th House Energy, here to bring you your August 2021 astrological analysis. To those who are new to the channel, welcome. 8th House Energy is a channel that we incorporate tarot and astrology into the mix because, you know, the 8th house deals with the occult sciences. So we deal with a variety of occult sciences here, but right now we're going to tap into astrology because as above, so below. You know, the planets have a direct effect on our behavior as humans here on this planet. Well, you know, spirits trapped in human bodies. And so in order for us to better understand and navigate what's going on, you know, we need to basically try to understand our birth chart and understand how the planets move so that we can get a better understanding of how to maneuver around, how to avoid some problems and stresses and aggravations, and just to know where things are so we know, you know, where we're supposed to be. So with that being said, welcome back to everybody who continues to come and show love to support to the channel. I wish everybody, you know, whether you're new or you're returning to the channel, peace, blessings, and happiness in every way imaginable for you. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's start with what's going on with Virgo, because we have right now we have 3 planets in the house of Virgo. All right, so we have, actually not yet, but we will. Let me explain. So right now Mars, let's start with Mars, because Mars went into Virgo on the 29th. Today is actually the 29th of me recording this, so July 29th. So Mars comes into Virgo today. So Mars is the planet of, you know, that go-getter energy. You know, that's what gets you up and gets you into survival mode. As a matter of fact, speaking of survival mode, you know, how you survive and your desires and how you go about doing the things that you want to do are based on your Mars energy. So this is why it's very important that, you know, a lot of people like to watch, okay, well, it's for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and that's it. But that's not just what makes you you. Your Mars is all about your desires. What is it that you desire in life, and how do you go about getting what it is that you want? What happens to you, or how do you respond when your back is up against the wall? You know, when there are troubles and trials and tribulations in your life, how do you handle it? That's your Mars. So a lot of us have lots of troubles and trials and tribulations. So it's very important that you tap into your Mars energy and look at where Mars is in your chart also. All right. And check out readings for your Mars. All right. But Mars is in Virgo right now. So for those of you who, you know, what I'll do is, well, those of you who have Mars in Virgo will probably, you know, this energy all the time. You know what I mean? So with that being said, let's just talk about Virgo. So Virgo, what's the planet? The planet of Virgo? I was about to say the planet of Virgo, but Virgo is a planet all in itself. But at any rate, seriously, Virgo is the sign, okay? And Virgo usually resides in what is called the 6th house. So the 6th house where Virgo resides is a house of health, okay? It's a house of work ethic. It's the house of, you know, what goes down at your job as far as how you work. You know, do you show up on time? Do you get along with your coworkers? What's your relationship like with your boss? Do you get your work done on time? Are you late? You know, do you stay late? You know, all those things that involve what goes on in the work environment. The 6th house of Virgo also deals with self-analysis, self-improvement, especially with your health, self-discipline, intestinal fortitude, and your different habits that you have. It also deals with open enemies. So with Mars, you know, Mars is the god of war, okay? So Mars going into Virgo with the house with the open enemies, you know, that's kind of, Now we see that taking place in a real life situation where we're looking at, right now we have the trials going on, or I don't know if it's the preliminary trials going on, with the January 6th situation that happened on the Capitol. So, you know, the hearings are going on with that. So Mars, Virgo also deals with the house of service, those who are in servitude to the public, okay, police officers. So again, we're talking about how if you watching the trials, the police officer who were working on January 6th are testifying to their experience of what happened when they were attacked. Mars is about war, okay? So our people of service were being attacked. So this is what we see in a real life scenario based on what's going on with the planetary alignments. All right, so we see that going on. On a personal level, you're going to see a lot of people who are going to be working on their health, taking active measures to work on their health, to go work out, to form levels of discipline where they're not indulging in the foods that they know they shouldn't be indulging in. As a matter of fact, we have a 21-day detox that we're starting here in the 8th house community on August 1st. So look in the community tab to find out more information on that. But that is a prime example of what's going on. And so Mars is in Virgo is an energy of you wanting to be more disciplined and controlled in reference to your eating, working out, your work ethic behind it, why you fall off the wagon and then getting back on type of energy. So that's going to be at the forefront of a lot of people's lives right now. Also in the workplace, because Virgo deals with the workplace environment, you're going to have more people negotiating and fighting for what it is they want in the workplace now that, the situation has changed for the employers. They have to be more open to what employees want now because there's less employees returning back to the workforce due to the things that happened with COVID. So, employers are really looking for employees, and so now employees have more wiggle room to negotiate. Well, I only want to come into the office 3 days out of the week instead of, however, or I would like to have, instead of, okay, you can't pay me a higher salary, but these are some perks that I'm interested. What about tuition reimbursement? What about health benefits? Or maybe I don't need your health benefits. They're too expensive. I can go into the marketplace and get them. Why don't you just compensate me for what I'm not going to pay for as far as health insurance. So that should give me another extra $2,000, $3,000 in my salary. Like, this is the time where you're going to see that going on in the workplace. So if you are an entrepreneur and you're hiring people, you're going to have to be a little bit more flexible if you want to get the employees that you want, and you want quality employees. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so that's what I got from Mars and Virgo. Now, we got Mercury in Leo right now until August 8th. Now, Mercury is the sign of a communication. We know that that's all about, people processing things that happen to them, as well as talking about the things that they're experiencing. So we're talking about Leo, right? Mercury and Leo. So Mercury and Leo. Leo is all about your spiritual energy. It's all about your creative spiritual energy, that creative spiritual spark. But Leo also talks about being on stage, front and center, so that everybody can see you. So people are going to be talking about the things that they enjoy doing, the things that they're good at, the things that really mean something to them and that really tap into their, their energy. So we got people who are going to be talking about spiritual growth, their creative endeavors. We also got people, and how can I word this? Okay, well, Leo is the house that deals with children, so people will be talking about their children. There will be some things going on, like paternity will be being revealed during Leo season. This is some of the things that I've been talking to you guys about in the reading, so some of you who are going through that, you will find out this season, okay, before, Leo season ends. We're also dealing with the speculative markets. So a lot of people are talking about the markets and how well they're doing and how things are going, and or how well things are not doing, depending on what you're invested in, but also playing the lottery. I've been pulling energies for that for a little while too, and I think I heard another reader talking about it as well, but you guys should definitely play the lotto, all right, for sure, especially if you're a Mercury and Leo person and that's in your native chart. Play the lotto, my friend. Do it before August 11th, okay? Now, because Leo deals with spirituality as well, you're going to have a lot of people experiencing spiritual growth, and the opposite as well, spiritual dissension. So unfortunately, we've been talking about a lot of spell work going on, in the readings. People dibbling and dabbling or paying people to do spell work, for whatever reason. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything bad, but it could be, But a lot of people are tapping into their spiritual energies, reaching out to their ancestors, setting up altars, setting up forms of communication. And we talk about that too on our Patreon page with the Now What series that I'm running. So we get into all of that as well. Setting up your altar, connecting with your ancestors, doing the spiritual detoxing so that you're able to, because, I don't want to get into all of that right now. I don't want to divert off of the topic, but check out the community tab for more information in reference to the 2021 day fast. And I'll have some information about the Now What series up there too. But I did a video on that, so check out that video. It'll be entitled Now What. All right. So moving on with Mercury going into Virgo on August 8th. Now we talked about what Virgo is. Virgo's about the job. It's about good health. It's about work ethic. It's about discipline and diet and exercise. Also about your pets. So a lot of people, they're going to be processing information and talking about these things. And again, we're talking about, Virgo is the house of service, and we're talking about Mercury, which is the planet of communication. So we see on TV with the communication, the hearings that are going on in reference to our civil service team who was, brutally attacked on January 6th. You also see on the news all types of information about the COVID updates, because the media, Mercury is the media, right? So you see all kinds of things going on with the COVID updates now. The numbers are rising is what people are saying. In reference to that, I would recommend that you turn the TV off and not drive yourself crazy when they're talking about COVID, because everything that's coming on is just meant to distract you, and it's meant to confuse you, and the different reports are conflicting, and it would just drive anybody crazy who's actually trying to follow it. So I would recommend you don't stress yourself out about it. Just turn it off. Make sure you practice good health. Make sure you take care of your immune system and move forward with life. We're also talking about, the communication about work environments and making it healthy for people to come back to work, right? When we were talking about Mercury in Leo, we were talking about the school environment for the children, because Leo rules children. So talking about, okay, what's going on with the vaccines for the kids? Are they going to have them? Do they need them? All of that type of stuff is going on. So those are some of the things you're going to see with Mercury in Leo, some of the things you've already seen, and then some of the things you're going to see as Mercury goes into Virgo on August 8th. Now, Venus is currently in Virgo right now. Venus is the planet that talks about your attitudes and your needs in love, your indulgences, money, and business. And that's in the house of your job, your health, your work ethic, your discipline, your diet and exercise, your pets, and civil service. So, as a result, what we're seeing is less people, I can't even read my writing. Less people working for others. Okay? People are not going back to the workplace unless they're going back to a job that they really love. I saw a poll the other day how it was saying why people are not returning to the workplace, and it was saying a lot of them are not returning because they're not getting the pay that they want. So employers are going to really have to, step up to the plate if they want to, get employees back into their companies. And you got a lot of small business owners who are complaining that they're not able to, pay, decent wages. But if you can't pay someone a decent wage, how do you expect them to work for you? So, a lot of small business owners are feeling they're feeling the pinch because, as a small business owner, you trying to do everything is very difficult. But at the same time, you do want help, but you are going to have to pay these people in some way, shape, or form because, people have to eat. They have to survive. And so a lot of small businesses are shutting down because they are not, as a lot of them, they say they can't, but then there are a lot of them who are not willing to pay people a living salary, a salary that's worth living off of. You can't expect people to just do, all of this work and then you don't want to pay them. You want to pay them $11 and $12 an hour. Nobody can live off in America $11 and $12 an hour, and they have kids and they have a family and they have rent. You can't even pay rent with $11 an hour just for one person. Like you got to look at the reality of everybody around you. And it's like, sometimes these business owners only worry about themselves. Well, I got to keep my doors open and this and that and that and this. You may have to cut back in some other ways. But, good health is priceless. So there's just some things that entrepreneurs are going to have to consider. A lot of people are going to be negotiating the things that they want in workplace. So let's see. A lot of people are going to be going into work environments where they're doing things with Virgo and Venus, doing things for others. So there's going to be a lot of people who are interested in starting their own businesses, helping others, whether they're going into the health and beauty industry. You're going to see probably a lot of people who are going to have exercise videos out. If you're healthy and you work out, why not make videos online? I wouldn't go back into the workplace either. If I was buff and fit and I could show other people how to do it, I would make videos doing that all day. So you're going to have people doing that. You'll have people, a lot of people doing makeup, because Venus deals with beauty. It also deals with money. So you're going to have a lot of people showing you how to make money in various ways besides going back into the traditional workforce. And so this is why we're seeing a lot of stagnant levels in reference to people returning to the workforce. So that is what we got going on for the Virgo situation. I think that was it with Virgo, right? Yeah, that was definitely it with Virgo. All right, so let's move on. So we're going to move on to, I made notes here, so bear with me. Okay, so let's talk about the retrograde planets. We got a lot of planets in retrograde. Right now we got Jupiter, which went back. Jupiter was in retrograde in Pisces, but it went back into Aquarius yesterday on the 28th. So Jupiter is now in Aquarius in retrograde, along with Saturn. Saturn's in Aquarius in retrograde as well. We know Jupiter is all about expansion and growth. Saturn is the opposite. It's all about constriction and restraints. Okay? Both of these are in retrograde. When planets are in retrograde, it's a time for you to think about the constrictions and restraints that have gone on and why they are. Like Saturn is a planet of time. Saturn is father time. It tells us, okay, you know what? It's time for things to stop. So when Saturn goes in retrograde, it tells us, okay, you need to reevaluate this situation. Should you continue with these routines and patterns, or should you stop? Right? Jupiter in retrograde tells us, okay, you didn't take that risk, or you took that risk and you failed. So now that it's in retrograde, we need to stop and think about, why did it fail? Or why did you refuse to take that risk? So that when these planets go back direct in October, when Jupiter goes direct in October, both of them go direct in Aquarius in October. So when Jupiter goes direct, it's like, okay, you reviewed why you didn't take the risk, or why you took the risk and failed. So now when October comes, you're ready to go and take that risk again. Or now you're going to take that risk this time. So when Saturn goes direct in Aquarius, it's going to make you look at, okay, these routines and patterns are outdated. I need to do something new now, because it's time to change, Saturn is father time. It tells you when it's time to change. It tells you when it's time to graduate from high school and go to college. Right? So in between, when Saturn's in retrograde, you're thinking about, reminiscing about what you've learned in college and all of that. And so now when Saturn goes direct, it's like, okay, now it's time to move forward with me starting my business, or me going to get some work experience so that I can later start my business. I can't go back to college anymore, or back to the school that I've already went to in the classes I've already taken, because I've already done that. That is in the past. So that's how you look at Saturn. Now, the house of Aquarius is where these two planets are. Aquarius deals with your social life, your friendships, long-term plans, long-term relationships, the organizations that you join, humanitarian efforts, or organizations that are established just for the help of humanitarian efforts. And that's going to be great with the Mars and Virgo energy as well. And then we're talking about, with Aquarius, forward movement, or thinking about forward movement. So Jupiter and Saturn in retrograde in these areas, a lot of people are going to be thinking about, have I outgrown these friends? Saturn energy, and it's time for me to make some new ones. Did I take a risk in meeting new people because, I've outgrown old, outdated friendships. Now it's time for me to move on. Why didn't I take the risk to go join these groups or these organizations that are like-minded? Or maybe I'll examine them first and see what they do, and then I'll decide if I want to put my energy and effort into it. So that's just a general example of what we see going on. Saturn also rules government. Just so you're aware, Jupiter rules foreign travel. So in the house of Aquarius, you got a lot of people now that the country is opening back up. A lot of people are interested in traveling and going different places, connecting with different people and meeting again. So that's beautiful energy. Now moving on to Neptune. Neptune's in retrograde in Pisces. All right, Pisces is the house of the hidden enemy, is the house of karma, is the house of self-undoing. You know, the energy of you made your bed, now you have to lay in it type of energy. Okay, it's the house of institutions, limited institutions where people are separated from society, prisons, I was going to say a nunnery. That's not even a word, I don't think. But monasteries, mental health asylums, alcohol and rehabilitation centers, juvenile detention centers, things like that. Now, Neptune is in retrograde in the house of Pisces. So Neptune deals with your creative imagination. It deals with illusions, glamorizing things, making things more than what they are, or downplaying something that needs to be made a big deal of. Now, when Neptune is in retrograde, those illusions disappear. So everybody's able to see what it really is. So, for example, Neptune in retrograde in Pisces, you may have people around you who are, pretending to be your friend. But remember, Pisces deals with the hidden enemy. So with Neptune in retrograde, you're going to start seeing by your intuition telling you, because Neptune rules the intuition as well. Your intuition is going to tell you to pay more attention to these people because of their actions and behaviors. Your intuition is going to be more sharp. And you're going to realize, okay, these people may not have my best interests at heart. Now, some of them are not going to come out and tell you that. Of course not, especially if they're trying to get something from you. But your intuition, because of Neptune in retrograde, is going to be more on point. And you're going to be paying more attention to what these people are saying and doing. And you're going to just get a little aha, like, oh, okay, I see what's up. I'm not going to let this person know what's going on. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take heed and make moves and do what I need to do to get away from this person or this energy or this organization, whatever it is that's the hidden enemy. And for those of you who see that a situation or a person, place, or thing is not good for you and you still choose to deal with it, remember, Neptune is in the house of Pisces. Pisces deals with karma. So we are all right now in the midst of getting our karma. Depending on what you've done will depend on the type of karma you're getting. But everybody's getting karma. And if you are around someone you know is not doing right by you or is doing you dirty, and you are maybe a weaker spirit or you don't want to believe it or you're in denial, and you shouldn't be in denial with Neptune in retrograde. It's just maybe you're staying because of, ego issues. Okay? Or maybe you think, oh, well, it's cheaper to stay here. The universe is going to put you in a situation where that person's going to get their karma. And then if you're around them, you're going to get their karma too. All right. So you want to eliminate people who do people dirty. Get them away from you. Because, there's going to be a lot of energy of people trying to come back to you. People who did you wrong trying to come back to you because karma's kicking their butt. They have no place else to go. So they're looking for a place of comfort. Neptune deals with self-pity, and self-agony. And also self-undoing. Keep that in mind. Now, Pluto's in retrograde in Capricorn, okay? Pluto is the planet of power struggles, okay? It's the planet of death and rebirth, regeneration in all aspects, whether in the physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, whatever. And Capricorn is the house of your career, your reputation, how people see you, your moral condition, whether you have great morals or your ethical fiber, your ethical being, okay, your life goals, things like that. And so when Pluto is in retrograde there, Pluto will pull up whatever you've tried to push to the side because you didn't want to deal with it or you couldn't process it. Pluto's going to push that right back in the forefront. So for a lot of you, you are looking at your career. A lot of people are deciding, okay, do I want to stay in this workplace? Do I want to start my own job? Do I want to be known as a doctor anymore? Or do I want to now be a gymnast? Whatever's going on. And how can we forget? The Olympics are going on right now. Right? So that's Mars energy in Leo. Very competitive energy. Okay? Leo is, I'm going to be the best. I'm number one. And then you got Mars there. So it's a perfect timing with the Olympics. All right? So again, as above with the planetary alignment, so below here on Earth. Now, we were talking about Pluto. So Pluto's about rebirth, okay? Death and rebirth. So some of you are trying to remake your career doing something else. or maybe you want to add a little extra to what you're doing, or you want to do a little something different, right? That's what Pluto's all about, and it's in the house of Capricorn. So for some of you, it's all about your reputation as well, how people see you. So you may have some people looking back at their situation, for example, Neptune in Pisces. People are looking at, okay, damn, I was not a good person, or I did some wrong things. Let me change up my behavior. Let me change up how people see me. So you may apologize. You may do things, people may be trying to come back to make things better. But that you have to use your discretion in allowing people to come back. I'm just on a mode where I'm not dealing with nobody from the past. I don't trust you. Excuse me. If you were not nice to me, because I'm the type of person, I'll give you a couple of chances. And if you were not nice to me after a couple of chances, there's no need for me to take you back. I can walk away confidently and not go back. Some of you have to get that energy up in you. You have to trust your gut and your instinct and know that you deserve better. I didn't talk much about Chiron. I didn't do anything with Chiron for you, but Chiron is the wounded healer. It's the largest asteroid we have. It's like big like a planet, and it's in the house of Aries. Chiron is all about the healing, the things that you're going through that cause you pain, all right? And it's in the house of Aries, which is the first house. So Aries, it deals with your personal physical appearance, self-awareness. So looking at the things that have hurt you, and looking at the lessons you've learned from those pains that you've been through, and looking at how you can learn from those things and move on regardless. Because some of the things that have happened to us, it's never going to go away. We're going to remember it, but we can try to heal from it and move on. And Chiron was the wounded healer that, he had his issues, but regardless to the things that he'd been through, he still put his issues to the side to help to teach, to heal, and to train others to be the best that they could be. So that's the beautiful energy with Chiron. All right, and then do I got one more planet for you? Oh, Lord. Yeah, we got Uranus, child. Uranus in retrograde. Uranus is going in retrograde on August 18th, okay? Uranus is the planet of surprise. It's the planet of change, okay? And the surprise can be good, and it can be not so good. And it's in the house of Taurus. So when we're looking at Uranus, we're looking at the inner change that goes on as a result of external changes around us. So that's what Uranus in retrograde wants you to look at. So, I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, so, for example, with Uranus, a lot of us may have been trying to make more change because Uranus is in Taurus, right? Taurus is how much money you make, okay? The 10th house is what you do to make money. The second house is how much money you can make doing it. It's also about self-esteem and self-worth and self-value in the second house. It also talks about your possessions. So with Uranus is a planet of forward movement. It's similar to Aquarius because it rules Aquarius. So it's all about forward movement. It's all about technology. So we're talking about Uranus and Taurus. A lot of people going online to make money. A lot of people going online to, buy things. All right. So there's a lot of exchange on the internet in reference to money. All right. And that's Uranus and Taurus. So when Uranus goes retrograde on the 18th, it's going to be retrograde from August 18th until January 22nd of 2022. So if there were any changes that you tried to make in reference to making money or, self-improvement, self-help, self-worth, and those things were stagnant and they didn't work, take this time to use this Uranus and retrograde energy to figure out why it didn't work for you. Because maybe what it is you're going to have to change your attitude, your perspective, your mentality, your outlook on a situation. And so Uranus is going to help you to figure out, okay, what do I need to change? I tried to make this change in my life in reference to making money. I tried to start this business. It didn't work. So Uranus is going to make you say, okay, well, how did you get started? Did you do any market research? Did you do this? It's going to make you just backtrack and see what it is that you may need to do differently so that you'll be successful moving forward. And you'll have plenty of time to do that, but you definitely want to take the time to do that, right? So that's what's going on with Uranus in retrograde. All right, guys, so I think I went over all of the planets and the planetary changes that we're going to be seeing over the next, over the next couple of weeks. And I hope that this provided a little bit of insight as to what you've been seeing, what you've been experiencing, what some of the people around you may be experiencing or seeing, just so that you can be a little bit more compassionate of others and be more patient and compassionate with yourself. And if you're starting in a new health regimen, if you fall off the horse, just get back on. Accept it as a loss. We're human, but get back on. All right? And make sure you come and join us for the 21-day detox that we're doing. Check the community tab for that. All right? If you need to reach out to me, my information's in the box below. I love you guys. Happy August.